Listen to another parable. There was a landowner who planted a vineyard. He put a wall around it, dug a winepress in it, and built a watchtower. Then he rented the vineyard to some farmers and moved to another place. When the harvest time approached, he sent his servants to the tenants to collect his fruit. The tenants seized his servants. They beat one, killed another, and stoned a third. Then he sent another servants to them, more than the first time, and the tenants treated them the same way. Last of all, he sent his son to them. They will respect my son, he said. But when the tenants saw the son, they said to each other, "This is the heir. Come, let's kill him and take his inheritance." So they took him and threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. Therefore, when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those tenants? He will bring those wretches to a wretched end, they replied. And he will rent the vineyard to other tenants, who will give him his share of the crop at harvest time. Jesus said to them, "Have you never read in the scriptures, the stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone? The Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore I tell you that the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people who will produce its fruit." When the chief priests and the Pharisees heard Jesus' parables, they knew he was talking about them. They looked for a way to arrest him, but they were afraid of the crowd because the people held that he was a prophet. There was a time when I got involved in the multi-level marketing. In case you're not aware, multi-level marketing gets you to sell and recruit other people to be your downlines. The more you recruit, the more you build an empire of your own business. Therefore, in this kind of business, you must deal with many rejections. There was a saying, there are many no's to get one yes. I remember reading a book in 1997 with the title, "Reject Me, I Love It." Now I could just laugh thinking about it. Rejection was a daily bread back then. This kind of rejection was not too intimidating for me, to tell you the truth. It was much easier compared to the idea of being rejected by my own parents. When I was about 11 years old, my parents found it hard to deal with me, I suppose. I played more and got home later and later, etc. So they threatened to send me to a boarding house. This shocked and frightened me to death. Thank God, my parents must have thought that the shock therapy had been successful, so I wasn't sent to the boarding house. Rejection was real too for Jesus. Quite often he spoke openly about it to the disciples. Jesus used the parable of the wicked tenants today to illustrate how wicked the motivation behind the rejection was. The twist of the whole story is that Jesus seemed to eagerly expect or love his rejection, just like the title of the book that I read, because this kind of rejection is not how the story ends. The stone rejected by the builder has become the cornerstone. What is this cornerstone that Jesus spoke about? A priest friend of mine often to go to Tasmania, which is an island under the Australian continent, and spend his holiday building a chapel just with stones. One day he showed me what cornerstone is. Finally, I have a visual understanding of it. Cornerstone is the stone which holds together all the stones that form an arch of the door to the chapel. Aha! Without the cornerstone, everything would crumble. It's the keystone which is often rejected because it's either too small and comes with an unusual shape. But now the cornerstone fits perfectly and holds everything perfectly together. Jesus endured the rejection which culminated on his crucifixion. Crucifixion is a terrible and horrible way to see how your life ends. Jesus was rejected because he did not fit the agenda of the Pharisees, the scribes, the Herodians, the Romans, and most of his own Jewish compatriots. Yet, at the crucifixion and resurrection, Jesus is the stone that holds everything together. Jesus is the one that gives life to all, despite all the rejections. In the word of the high priest, it is better that one man dies rather than the whole nation perish. Well, Jesus died on the cross so he could give life to all who rejected him. In a song, Above All, the verse says, "Like a rose trampled on the ground, you took the fall and thought of me above all." Let me share this song with you.